I don't understand. I'm picking up something from inside, but it's nothing I've ever encountered before.
Well, then, what do we do?
We knock, Ray, like this.
Hello and welcome to Serial Viewing! Okay, what episode are we on? Episode 12, Season 2. That wasn't the right... Wait, episode 12? Episode 24, Season 2.
Suddenly I look like a professional.
This week's episode we are covering the Real Ghostbusters.
Woo!
Woo! This week I'm joined by Henry.
Hello.
And Jenny.
Well, hello.
The Real Ghostbusters. So this premiered in 1986 and was a tie-in from the original film before the second one was released as well. We watched Season 1, Episode 1, titled Ghosts Are Us, which first premiered on the 13th of September. In this episode, Slimer accidentally releases 3 ghosts from the gang's containment unit, and they set out to put Ghostbusters out of business by opening their own business, Ghosts Are Us. The Real Ghostbusters animated television series continues the adventures of paranormal investigators Dr. Peter Venkman, Dr. Egon Spengler, Dr. Ray Stantz, and Winston Zeddemore, their secretary Janine Melnitz, and their mascot Ghost Slimer. Now, have you guys ever heard of Ghostbusters before?
No, is it new?
Yeah.
It is relatively new. I think there's that kid Finn Wolfhardt's going to be in it. I'm not sure.
Oh, the nose.
The nose.
Yes, of course. Yeah, who hasn't? If you are out there and you've never heard of Ghostbusters, can you please explain to us what rock you've been living under?
I was looking up my research of Ghostbusters, the series, and it was just coming up with Google comments about what age should I show my kids Ghostbusters, but is Ghostbusters okay for 8-year-olds? Is Ghostbusters okay for 5-year-olds? Is Ghostbusters a good movie? It's like, how have you never seen Ghostbusters?
Have you got this point in your life?
Yeah. I mean, like, your life is just so much sadder than everybody else who has seen it. This episode went off. Well, it was the pilot episode, right? And what happened in it? I don't remember.
Well, that's pretty much it. They go on a ghost hunt. They capture some ghosts. Venkman has a go at Slimer because for some reason Slimer's part of the crew now. And then Slimer accidentally releases 3 ghosts who hatch a plan to put them out of business by pretending to be Ghostbusters, which seems thin.
This is the pilot episode.
Yes, yeah. It was the very, very first episode. We watched it on YouTube if you want to go and see it there. They released all of the Real Ghostbusters, and the spin-off series that came after this, the Extreme Ghostbusters. They're all on their YouTube channel to promote Ghostbusters Afterlife, I think is the title of it, which is the new movie we were talking about.
Which looks really good, and I'm very, very excited.
Even though
it has the nose in it.
He's not bad.
He's an alright little actor.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Plus, it's got
Paul Rudd in it.
Yeah. Everybody should love Paul Rudd.
I would watch him read a book.
Yeah.
I have watched him read a book.
Although I would say that this should be called the Slimer Show. It's like Friends, where Friends should actually be called the Ross Show.
Yeah.
This thing was all about Slimer.
We will get into that.
Slimer the pet.
Yes.
Slimer being naughty.
We will.
There is trivia. There is a lot of trivia with this show. But first off, actually, we'll just touch on it here. In 1988, I think this was like the 4th series that came out. Slimer he was a big mascot of the show, due to the fact that everybody after watching the first movie really, really liked him. And so in 1988, for that series, they started releasing the show in hour blocks, which contained the Real Ghostbusters episode, but also had a slight spin-off, but it was only ever aired with the other Ghostbuster show, called Slimer, ! And it was to appeal to a younger audience.
I remember
and it was
that.
like him just in the hotel, basically like a prequel for Slimer. But it basically renamed the whole series Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters, which prompted a lot of the merchandising companies just to like immediately scrap everything and call it Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters.
Okay, I need to get this out there. I hate Slimer.
Do you?
Yep. He's the comedy sidekick that I am on record. I hate comedy sidekicks.
He's the Jar Jar Binks of Ghostbusters.
Does he really need to be there? I mean, okay, fine. He was great in the movies, but really? Did we need him?
So you both hated him?
No,
No.
I thought Slime was
I
funny.
didn't hate Slimer. I thought he was alright.
No,
Yeah.
you can do one. It was awful.
He was a little annoying in places, but he wasn't overtly painful to watch.
I neither loved or hated him. He was just there.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when we watched these, my little sister loved Slimer because but that was what he was for.
Yeah.
He was always naughty, he was always eating, he was always making stupid noises, but that's what he was there for the little ones.
No.
Never bothered me.
So you guys watched this when it came out?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you know? What year it would have been when you watched it in the UK?
Oh, late 80s. I don't...
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching it on my nan's sofa, or from my nan's sofa. And I remember that I had some nostalgia trip when on the closing credits when they're walking down the street. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I put. Oh my god, the dancing at the end. Forgot about that.
So that
I thought I'd walked like that with friends.
Yeah,
it
it was a
pretty
bit
good.
like the Monkeys.
Yeah.
Well, the ending was meant to imitate the original music video, where all the cast were doing it with Ray Parker Jr.
I
But
don't remember the video.
yeah. I mean,
No, I
there
don't either.
bits of it. It's basically got him walking down the street with all four of them, but like behind him, going like that.
Okay, now I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But has there ever been, whilst we're on the subject, has there ever been a better theme song for a movie in history than Ghostbusters? Like, regardless of scores, musical talent, whatever, I think that this is amazing as a theme song.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is good. I mean,
This is a slightly more 80s version
Yes.
of the song.
Yes, but it is still Ray Parker Jr. It's performed by, it's not performed by him, but he did make the adaptation for the cartoons. I can't remember who is performed by him right now, but... So, what did you guys think to the other ghosts?
I hate them.
Yeah, me too.
It annoyed me that they were a family. Why were they a family?
Why can they speak?
Yeah, they. I mean, all right. So they're setting up ghosts as being intelligent or being the
More
possibility
human.
to be intelligent antagonists for the rest of the series because you can't just have a blob every episode, which is fine. I get that, but these three really. And did they need to be a family?
Well, the way that this episode was described to me whilst reading all of the reviews and stuff was that it was a very good, interesting concept to take Ghostbusters and turn them on their heads like straight away. But it never mentioned how terrible these ghosts were. The ending ghost, because basically what happens is the three ghosts, the Ghostbusters go and they go and capture them at a chocolate factory, which was a weird scene. And many, many strange innuendo like comments were made. But they go and capture these three ghosts, and they put them in the containment unit. They go to bed, and then Slimer, being Slimer, releases them on accident, and they decide to enact their revenge and take it upon themselves to ruin the Ghostbusters business by creating their own ghostbusting business.
Instead of just, killing them.
Yeah, well, yeah. They kind of left that part out of the original Ghostbusters, of this cartoon from the original movies. But they do that, and then they want to have like one last big hurrah to send the Ghostbusters off after their business for some reason takes off, even though the Ghostbusters have years of experience.
Well, your business is on shaky ground if it can't take one competitor.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the point of the Ghostbuster business, though, that they're all really bad people. They're not
people persons.
No, they're not people persons. None of them are. Like, you have like Venkman, who's full of himself but loves himself. You have Stantz, who's a really nerdy scientist. You have Spengler, who is not a human. And you have Winston, who's like this average Joe, who's like work, like blue collar, like just working. And they
token black.
Yeah, well, token black, but he is in the original movies. But I just think in the original group, he's just the average Joe. What's the name?
The Everyman.
Yeah, the Everyman.
The Everyman, yeah. That's what he is. He's there to get paid.
Yeah.
So he'll put up with any kind of crap as long as he gets paid.
So the fact that they are the only professionals who can do pest control for ghosts is probably the only reason their business is still afoot.
Okay. Who in their right mind, it's a cartoon, whatever, who believed that those two were human?
Wait, which ones?
The ghost family.
Yeah.
Who, when they were pretending to be Ghostbusters?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, him, or the male ghost, because the ghost, it doesn't really matter. I kind of get that one, but she only had 3 fingers. And she was almost bright red.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, kind of, but he pulled his face off and then like scrunched it so it changed his appearance, but then in a very cartoon fashion. But he looked exactly the same, just a different color. I'm like, you just not look like a ghost already?
You've got to understand, in this universe, the people of New York,
yes,
have seen some shit.
That's true.
So
the people of real New York have seen some shit.
Yes, exactly. So
what happens in the very end is that once the enemy ghost team go to this factory because they know of this ghost who's like a really strong ghost, and they're trying to get him to, I don't know, try kill the Ghostbusters in the end. I don't really know their motives. They never really say it, but I assume that's
get rid of.
Yeah, dispose of them. So, but then it turns out to be a different ghost, an even stronger ghost than they even thought had been there. So they ran away in fear. The Ghostbusters come, save the day. This ghost is a very interesting design.
Yeah.
They chose a toy factory, and I guess to appeal to children, but maybe that ghost, if he really wanted to be left alone, could have like been in like a weapons factory or something. I
think they went, I know it's only the pilot, but I think they went too big too soon.
You reckon?
Yeah, because, this is the biggest thing we've ever faced. Hang on.
That's true.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Well, I did like the way it was a level 10, and then Egon's reader with scanner went, it's over level 10, and it smashed out of the thing and like pointed past it.
Okay, so how do the ghosts know what class they are?
I know. I wrote that down. I got very
hang
confused.
On. No, but if you think in Beetlejuice, if you're going with the same thing, so
expanded universe.
You've got like there's the book that they get, and they all, when they die, they go to the ghost place. So there's a lot more. Yeah, I just worked on the basis that all go once you become a ghost, Also though, but I also picked up that they're from different dimensions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're not ghosts. They're from different dimensions, which
that is in the
but that's in the movies as well. So.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters lore and canon and stuff. There's a lot about that actually. Even in, like you say, they where do the ghosts go when they capture them? Like, what's in the containment unit? Like, apparently the show did answer a lot of these questions.
Another dimension, isn't it?
It kind of is. It's a ghost purgatory. And basically all the ghosts, because there's an episode where Slimer has to go into it, and so it's like a big like swirling vortex, and all the ghosts just hang around and have a chat, basically, in this swirling vortex of like, it's basically ghost purgatory, and
oh, you mean inside their machine?
Yeah, inside the
yeah, that's kind of what I figured it to be.
But let's quickly go back, talk to the designs of the characters, because they are not similar to the show, to the movie, sorry, at all, and there is good reason for that.
They do. The four main Ghostbusters, they do have some similarities.
They have similar traits.
They're kind of caricatures of those from.
Physicality.
They're kind of characters like Egon's hair. So in the movie, he does have curly hair. So they've oversized the big curl, and like some of the way they talked in the movies, and some of the things, the way they acted, that has been, those bits have then been taken out and expanded. So like Venkman in the movies, he's more of a droll. It's slow and it's very sarcastic.
They are emphasized.
Yeah, and that's where he is. And it's like Spengler, Dan Aykroyd,
Ray Stantz.
Ray Stantz, that's it. Ray. He was always more enthusiastic, so they've gone one step, and he is super enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And same as Egon. So
I look at it as if they made the movie based on these characters.
There is trivia about it.
Yeah.
So basically, the real reason, there's two reasons. The real reason was basically they drew Venkman and Spengler very similar to, they based them off of Bill Murray and Harold Ramis. But they were worried that the actual series, they might get lawsuits for using their likeness without asking.
Yeah.
So they changed them slightly. So they made Venkman a bit more goofy, and they made Egon with blonde hair. And apparently they never based Ray or Winston off of the original Dan Aykroyd or
they'd already changed their mind by that point.
Yeah. so that's the real life reason why they look different. The in canon reason is because basically they answered it by what you said, Henry. They said it so the cartoon is the real universe, and the movies are based on the stories of the cartoon. So the movies are in the universe of the cartoon, but they're basically movies of their lives of the cartoon. Right. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a film adaptation of their lives in the cartoon, which I thought was kind of cool. It's a good way of answering it. It's definitely, it clears up some of the plot holes of the universe.
I had two problems with Venkman.
You only had two?
I only had two. In the movie, he is easily the best character.
Yes, by far.
He is the worst character.
Yes.
In the cartoon.
By far.
And I know it's not Bill Murray doing the voice, but all I can hear is Garfield.
Oh my God, that was who it was.
Because Bill Murray voices Garfield in the movie.
Yes.
But he
doesn't in the cartoons.
No, but he doesn't in the cartoons.
No, so I wrote down, this is my exact word for word, I wrote down. So Bill Murray plays Peter Venkman in the Ghostbuster films. Lorenzo Music voices him in Series 1 of the cartoons. Now, Lorenzo Music also voices the character of Garfield, but yet he wasn't available to take up the film adaptation because he was dead. But Bill Murray did.
That's a good reason not to get a job.
Yeah.
But the two of them are literally playing Inception with each other.
Bill Murray even pointed out after the second series that Egon sounds like, because I can't remember who voices Egon, but he's a pretty famous voice actor, and he wrote down, he sounds like a scientist, he sounds like very smart, but I sound like Garfield. And it's because he is voiced by Lorenzo Music, and it is a weird inception that's how it all works out.
I put in my notes. So in the, I think, late 80s, early 90s, there's I would say a 10-year period of there was only seems to be 10 voiceover artists, and they did all of the cartoons,
even the guy
and all of the TV series. Yeah, because they're all very familiar. So, like, one of the dudes, is it the one that plays
Ray?
Ray.
Yep. He's in
why
loads
can
of
I
stuff.
never remember his? Isn't he in Scooby-Doo?
He's
One of them plays.
Yeah, I think does he play
plays.
Fred?
Who's the bloke in Scooby-Doo? Fred. Yeah.
Does he play Fred?
I don't know if he plays Fred, but
Yeah, I think he does. It was either him or he plays someone in Ben 10 as well. But basically, he's done a lot of kids shows. But you'll never guess who voices Winston in this show.
Yeah, I know
you know
who it is.
Who is it?
It's Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall?
Yeah.
Arsenio, sorry, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
But basically, the more trivia is that Ernie Hudson auditioned for it, but he wasn't given it because Arsenio Hall auditioned as well.
Arsenio Hall is cool.
Yeah,
I do like
so
Arsenio.
that's quite amusing. But yes, I think the voice actor who voices Slimer takes over from Lorenzo Music in season 4 or 2, I think, because Bill Murray complained about his character sounding weird. Yeah. So there's a bit more trivia I have, like stuff that didn't happen in this episode, like the fact that because they use the radio and they radio across whilst they're in the vehicles, such as Ecto 1 and Ecto 2, which we hadn't seen in the movies, but we do in this one. Janine's handle for the radio is Spook Central when she uses the radio. And this is an Easter egg deliberately done by the casting, the writers, because Ray, he says it in reference to Dana
Spook
Barrett's
Central.
apartment.
Yeah.
It's just, your girlfriend's living on the corner of Spook Central.
That's it,
Something
yeah.
like that. Which is kind of cool too. Henry, do you know who was one of the main story writers for this show?
It's not Christy Marks, is it?
No.
Because she wrote everything. No, I don't. Who was it?
J. Michael Straczynski.
Hey!
Who went on to work
Michael.
on such shows as Babylon 5 and was currently at the same time as this working on He-Man, I think. So
Well, he'd already done Jace by now.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
did he do Jace?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He wrote Jace and the World Warriors.
Yes. So he's a favorite.
We like J. Michael.
Yes, very cool. And already mentioned as well, in 1997, there was a spin-off series, because this show ended in 1991, a spin-off series named The Extreme Ghostbusters.
What was different?
Basically, it was, they were all older, but it was Spangler, it was Egon's, he was running this new Ghostbusters. They were all built up of his best physics
yes.
students.
I remember it.
And they were going to call it the Super Ghostbusters originally, but apparently that was too soft for the 90s, so they named it the Extreme Ghostbusters.
Because the 90s were radical and extreme.
Does he retire to a little farm town in the middle of nowhere?
Not
Get
sure.
a barn.
We have to watch it, but it's all available on YouTube. But the original Ghostbusters all do make an appearance based on their original, the Real Ghostbusters views, but they are slightly older and described as slower, which I find quite amusing in their age.
What did you guys think of the animation?
It was all right.
Yeah. It was very... Well, I assumed that this was generic early 90s,
Right.
but it's not. It's late 80s.
Yeah. It's not bad.
No, so it actually looked pretty good,
Mm.
considering I got the decade wrong. Some of the character design for some of the background characters, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a bit, for example, when the big bad's stomping over the bridge, which should have caused a huge death toll.
Yep.
We'll ignore that. There's a guy in a taxi and the taxi driver, and they both look as hideous and as deformed as the ghosts do.
Yes.
But they're just people.
I did think that. I was like, oh, are these going to be turning into ghosts at some point as well? Or
Yeah, it's a weird
What?
choice. You'd think you'd want to disassociate people from ghosts, and we've already established that people look like the Ghostbusters.
I do feel like that was a common thing with the 90s, though, with this, like, the rad era where all of the non-important characters would be really ugly or really boring looking compared to the actual hero characters who were always, like, really heroic and buff. And for some
from Ray.
reason, they decided to do that with this show. But
it was a weird choice.
it was a weird choice. I do agree. I did find out that the animation, all of it was all planned out. They recorded all of the parts first before any of the animation was done. So it was a fully professionally done, which is, I mean, to be fair, quite rare from what we've come across. but but it was then sent over to Japan, and Japan did the animation.
I was going to ask because I noticed at the end that it's another Deke Entertainment joint. So was it a French-Japanese production, French-American?
No, it was French-American. So so it was all done in LA, all recorded in LA. Then they sent it over instead of the other way around, or redubbing or anything.
That's one of the things that I think we've learned on serial reviewing, that France was actually quite a bit of a children's television powerhouse.
Yes.
In the 80s and 90s.
More than Britain.
More than America, even.
But what I found interesting as well was the fact that both the 13-part original Series 1 of this show and the 65-part Series 2 were commissioned at the exact same time. So the writers and all of the production crew were tasked with writing 78 stories straight away before the release, and that feels like a lot of shows to get done.
I know it seems to be a standard where they go for a short run for the first series and then it's expanded for the second, but I always assumed that was because they wanted to test the water.
Test it out, yeah.
And then go, but yeah, that's a weird choice. Why you would commission a really long second series and then a short first one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it makes sense. They went on to describe how they preferred working for syndication and they preferred being able to work with their own deadlines and get everything done. And I think Straczynski wanted to, because he was running the main story plot at the time, he actually took a heist after the second series because they actually, I can't remember which network it was, but they demanded that they take on a consultant. I think it's Q5 writers consultancy to basically dumb down the story. Not dumb down the story, but dumb down the elements of it, such as the occult parts and violence, and
make it more palatable to the Midwest American audience.
A lot more child-friendly, despite the fact that the ratings were really high before then, and then ironically after they did all these changes, the ratings went and dropped.
I think it's a truism that children's television programming that doesn't treat children like adorable little morons does quite well.
Yeah, it should be a thing.
Kids know when they're being spoken down. Or a lot of kids will know when they're being spoken down to and being pandered to.
Yeah,
just give us the story. If it's a good story, they'll watch it.
Yeah, middle of the road kids, not little kids.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking like 7+.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah, not little kids, but yes, you know what I mean, though. Yeah, good. Making sense.
So, do you guys know the true story of why it's called the Real Ghostbusters? You do, Henry.
I do, yeah.
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've heard it sort of talked about before.
So in 1975, the original Ghostbusters film, like separate words, was released. It was live action.
And a man dressed as a monkey.
Yep, a man dressed as a monkey. There was two of them. They went around trying to catch ghosts, I think. But after the 1984 film, the other one was created by Filmation.
Yep.
And after the 1984 Columbia Pictures film, they both decided to release a Ghostbusters cartoon in 1986. The original Ghostbusters one was said to be like the descendants of the two, and going around, and they were both going to be animated, and basically they told them to stop, to not call them Ghostbusters, and they figured they would be all confusing, so they were like, oh, we'll call it the Real Ghostbusters, because to the kids as well, that was going to be the Real Ghostbusters. They made a whole point of it.
I mean, so you've got the producers of the original Ghostbusters, the monkey and the man.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ghostbusters movies comes out, it's a big deal, so you think, I can make some cash off of this. How?
Yeah, in a world could you think you'd get away with that?
How did you think you could compete? You obviously weren't good enough the first time around.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, if it's your idea, fair enough, but at the same time,
it's too late.
Yeah, understand that you've been ruled by Bill Murray.
Read the room.
Yeah, ruled by Bill Murray. So, merchandise. There was actually a fair amount of spin-off and merchandise available, as is with most.
Yeah, this show was absolutely a vehicle to sell toys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Well, 99% of them were in the late 80s.
Yeah.
At least they put some thought into it. So there was a whole Kenner show production, Kenner toy line that would last for a whole 10 waves, I think, until 1991.
Bloody
Basically, yeah, they were really pumping them out. I didn't see a lot of prices. I don't think there was anything going for terribly expensive because it was so readily available.
They would have had, like most of them, they would have had your standard line where you can buy the figures, but they would have had a couple of bigger high-ticket items. You could probably buy the fire station playset or something.
I think it might
Did
be
you not have it? I mean, you had all of the toys.
I didn't have any Ghostbuster toys. No,
I remember.
That was a nice dig at me being spoiled.
Yeah.
I was, but that's
every episode.
No, I remember the childminders boys having Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters car.
Ecto 1.
Yeah, and I think I had the fire station as well from this.
Yeah.
Not from the movie.
They would have been the bigger ticket items,
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
They were spoiled as well.
I think the reason that then maybe not making as much money now, like resale value, they are being reissued, or they were reissued in 2020 by Hasbro. So they got picked up by Hasbro.
That
as well.
seems to be a running theme.
Is it?
Yeah, because I can't remember the name of the toy companies now, but they did a re-release of the original Gem models.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky O'Hare, which we watched last week, they had a re-release of toys. It seems to be a thing, like they're kind of nostalgia digging.
Maybe
Toy
talking
culture.
about kids' shows right now is the best thing we can do.
Yeah.
When more people get traction, they're going to harness that nostalgia. But yeah, apart from that, there wasn't that much more information on the toys. There was, however, in 1987, as an arcade game released by Data East and published on all consoles as well by Activision, all the common consoles at the time. It was a shoot-'em-up style arcade game, and it looks relatively interesting, but I'm spoiled by the actual Ghostbusters game. That was amazing. Came out a couple years ago.
was that based on the cartoon, or was that based on?
It was based on the
movie?
cartoon. Wait,
Right.
not the more recent one. The
original
one was.
Because there's been several. There's been all
Yeah.
kinds. I remember playing a Ghostbuster game on the Amstrad CPC 464 on a green screen. That was your blob drove around and shot other blobs with a thin line between the blobs.
I think there was a
Yeah.
Slimer one as well. I remember there being a Slimer computer game where he went around and
Could
ate
be.
things.
I
Oh
think-
no, was that on the Game Boy? That might have been
I
on
don't
a
know.
Game Boy.
I think the whole Slimer love bypassed me because he wasn't even a highlight of the movies
I do feel it was a bit weird
for me.
that they really chose to drive home Slimer as a mascot.
I will say didn't like the Slimer. As I said, younger sister did like the Slimer. I remember Slimer being quite popular.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I don't remember. No, I
With
don't
kids
remember. I get
at
using.
school.
I get in this context. I get using Slimer to appeal to
The younger ones.
audience because Ghostbusters, the movie itself, I'm sure it has traumatized many younger children over the years.
It's still traumatizing.
But yeah, I get the use of Slimer to position it towards a younger audience. I just don't like it. I don't like comedy sidekicks.
But it's okay. They're not making movies and cartoons for you.
Except for Oom.
Yes, they are. I'm everyone's target audience.
Oom is always the best comedy psych.
Oon! Woo! Oon rules.
Yep. But so
Who's a Paul Atreides comedy sidekick? A worm.
The worm.
Yes, if they did a cartoon, he would absolutely have a pet worm.
Straczynski should do that. He probably would. But there's also been a Real Ghostbusters comic book spin-off that ran for
That seemed, yeah.
193 issues, and
Wow.
it was published by Marvel Comics.
I'm impressed. I mean, I'm not surprised at a comic book, but I am surprised at the length. That's that's a decent run.
Yeah, it lasted for a long time. It lasted until I think it was 91 as well. But there was also Now, which published a few issues as well. And Slimer got his own comic book as well.
Of course he did.
Only for a couple of issues, but it looks very 90s, very over the top.
I'm just jealous.
Yeah.
That a gelatinous green blob has got more fans than I do.
But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I think we've exhausted most of my trivia. So, what else did you guys enjoy about this show?
I didn't.
You didn't?
You didn't like it?
No.
I heard you laughing.
You did not hear me.
I heard you snigger. I did.
You did. You were giggled.
No, I didn't enjoy it. I don't know if it's just because it's the pilot, because I remember watching this when I was younger and not disliking it.
This was one of the lower rated episodes. It wasn't the lowest, but some of them got up to 8.9, I think, the highest.
It wasn't funny. Slimer was annoying. Venkman's a dick.
He's a dick, but he's really. I did not like Venkman at all.
No.
That's
why I say.
Yeah,
he went from being the best thing to the worst thing.
Yeah, they really ruined his character, but
oh,
what?
Okay, so at the end,
yeah,
they've defeated the big bad. They're standing on a shipping container, being interviewed by the press, and Venkman turns to Slimer and says, "Oh, Slimer, you've redeemed yourself." And then Slimer, I'm just going to say this: Global Flibben. I listened to that 4 times. I kept returning, and I still do not know what Venkman said to Slimer.
What?
You go back after finishing the show. Go back and listen to it, because he says, "Oh, Slimer."
But isn't it because Slimer's kissing him?
Yeah, because he's making out with him.
No. He says something, and then he kisses him. Before he kisses, he says, "I even put the subtitles on, and it couldn't do it."
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll have to check that out. But I thought it was weird that he just started making out with him, but then the animation was a bit off, because then he'd go away and flirt, and then he'd turn back and smile again, and then I don't know what was going on there.
Ray did get a blowy from a ghost. Might be the same.
Yeah, that's
in the movie. Did you enjoy it, Jennifer?
Me?
I've just dumped in there and said no, I hated it.
No, I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
I thought it was fun.
Mm.
It reminded me, I enjoyed watching it when I was younger. This wasn't a great episode. I do remember a lot of others. Slimer doesn't bother me. I wish I could eat like him, but yeah.
I do.
Which
is why I'm a pink gelatinous blob.
Yeah. I mean, I wish, what's her name? The secretary, Janine. Why do I keep forgetting all their names?
Janine.
Yeah.
Janine. I wish they'd used her, the actress, to do her voice, because she's an awesome,
yeah, that's true.
And she would have been a great voice actress, even if they couldn't get all the others. Because that was one of the great things in the movies, was her voice. Whereas when it's really meh.
Yeah, it did lose
in
a
this.
bit, but Janine's still hot. So.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Random pop music, chase scenes, and
yes,
yeah, that was a bit weird.
You got those in all the, and I'll put it in there. It's got to be it's an 80s, 90s cartoon. There's that block where all the cartoons kind of use the same formula, and they all have a weird random pop music chase scene or a compilation, like training scene or something like that.
It was an odd choice.
It was what was on the radio in the taxi.
Yeah, I like the transition. It was kind of nice. They did fit it in a bit well, but it was a bit strange to randomly have this really top pop scene. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I feel like parts of it, not all of it, but parts of it definitely captured that really cheesy, the whole aspect of the Ghostbusters that it's never ever really meant to be taken seriously. Even when they're filming it, they didn't take it seriously.
No.
But it's still a really, really good movie. Like I say, Venkman's a dick.
See, I didn't get that he was a dick in this.
Well, he's just really...
He's not funny. He talks like
he's just really... I mean, he was... he's still got his sarcasm, but I mean, it wasn't Bill Murray. You're right. It was Garfield. But it was... I
think the whole point of Venkman is he's so blatantly unself-aware. And the fact that this character was... like, he didn't have any of those aspects. He didn't have any of that.
They were trying too hard.
Yeah. Like, they did capture his slowness or like his like coolness with life, and the fact that he didn't really know a lot about science. He kind of flunked his way into it, but at the same time they missed the fact that he is kind of witty and snarky, whereas in this he's just an ass. Yeah, he doesn't go about it in a nice way or a redeeming way. But I hated him more than Slimer. Slimer was alright.
Oh, who did I hate more? I think I agree. I think I hated Venkman more than Slimer, and I hated Slimer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think in other episodes, though, the other Ghostbusters do show their strengths a bit more. I feel... Who would you reckon would... well, no, not who would you reckon. How would you reckon the Ghostbusters would do at Grange Hill?
I think they would be crying by the end of the first day.
Yep.
I think Trisha Yates would rip them a new one. The teachers would have had Slimer around the back of the back of the neck, locked in a cupboard somewhere.
Yeah. Isolation. So go on then. Jennifer, give this a rate. Between...
out of 10.
7 out of 10.
7?
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it is the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to sum it up. Henry?
2.9.
Oh.
Because I didn't enjoy it. It was... I would give it the benefit of the doubts that... I'm sure it gets better. This was the pilot. They hadn't found their feet yet, but I didn't like it. So 2.9.
All right. Well, fair enough. I'm giving it a 7.6. Because I did like it, but because it was the Ghostbusters. And I knew you were going to put it really low. So what's the maths on that?
I don't know. I've just cocked it up. Hang on a second. You gave it a 7?
Yeah.
And a 7.6, Jeremy?
Yes.
And a 2.9.
That gives it an overall rating of 5.8.
Adequate. Yes.
Higher than I was expecting.
Nah, I was expecting this to be really, really good. I figured we'd find the flaws because we find the flaws in all of these. But
I thought I was going to enjoy it more. I thought I was going to enjoy it, and I was shocked at how bad I thought it was.
Understandable. Well, thank you so much for watching. This has been Ghostbusters. Is there anything else you guys want to say? Any closing?
This is the end of our... It doesn't mean much to you guys, but this is the end of our second season.
Yeah.
We run in 6-month seasons, so thank you very much for that. We start our new season. We have chosen our episodes for the next one. Can anyone remember what the first episode of season 3 is? What our next episode is going to be?
Have we chosen it then?
We have.
Oh,
I don't remember what you chose the first one.
I didn't realise we'd picked the first one. I just know what ones we've got, but I don't know which one's the first one.
Our next episode, join us next time for the English classic Postman Pat.
Oh, we're doing Postman Pat.
Postman
Pat and his black and white cats. Early in the morning.
Yeah.
Original Postman Pat.
Not the weird monstrosity that's on the TVs now.
All the swearing.
Which we will discuss that.
There's the sweary one.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We will discuss that as well.
And all the saucy songs.
Yes. What an interesting tonal shift that will be from the Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Postman Pat without his hat on.
Yeah.
We do record an unedited version for YouTube, so head over to our YouTube channel and you can watch our gurning faces. And you can look at the hand signals that Jen is using setting up right now. Just look for serial viewing. Every episode is up there, and you can see our lovely faces.
Yes, so if there is nothing else, I say we call it an end, and I say goodbye and see us next week.
Bye. I love you.